I am fired up for today's call. We got one of the top producers in the entire company, good friend of mine. We got Jonah Lewis in the house. Appreciate you for hopping on. Did I just see that you hit Hall of Fame a second time already?
So
You were like the fifth or sixth this year to hit it, maybe?
to be honest with you, I have no idea. I wasn't keeping track, but
Yeah,
probably
I know
maybe.
you beat Kiefer out. I know she's tracking to hit it in July here. So that's huge, man. We're gonna dive into kind of what you've been doing. I have a little off topic, but just got a couple of quick announcements. For any of you who haven't seen already, we've got the business overview meetings all across the country. The 11th and the 14th are for sure dates. I know we got one in Green Bay. Ivan Bedrop's coming up for that. Purpose of these is to introduce some new people to the business, right? Because as Jonah continuously does, he makes a boatload of money selling life insurance, right? But we also have the ability to grow an agency and to start to see override income, residual income and that kind of stuff. I was just thinking about it before hopping on the call here. I'm like, if you really think about it, you get five people that are licensed. You get 5 people protecting 20 families a month. So you have 5 people doing this full time, 20 grand a month issue paid. You have an agency helping 100 families a month. That literally generates an extra $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 a month for you. And when you think about it like that can be really big for a lot of people. So business overview meetings, they're literally everywhere. There's an insane amount of cities that those are going to be in next 2 days, or the 11th and the 14th. So check those out. And if you have somebody who you think could be good at sales, or you have friends or family that, business minded and they maybe just need the right opportunity, family first life, it can be the right place for a lot of people. So we got Jonah on here Jonah, how many families did you help last year?
548.
548. Okay. Dude, are you literally on pace to do like 800 this year?
What was that?
Are you on pace to literally do like 800 this year? Yeah.
We'll see. I'm focused more on the building side of things now that we got moved into the office, but God willing.
Yeah, just moved into a sweet office. You having a grand opening soon for that?
The date isn't set yet. We're still getting some things in order, still getting it set up, but I will let you know as soon as we have them.
Okay, cool. So vice president, agency helping about 150 families a month. How many writers do you usually have?
About 10 right now.
10, 12. Okay. Cool. High issue paid per writer, that's for sure. Awesome. So let's figure out, let's do the basic real quick, like how long you've been here, how you found Family First Life. We'll just start with that.
Mm-hmm. So I've been with the company 1.5 years now. Before this, I dabbled in insurance a little bit. I was in supplemental insurance, supplemental health insurance, which is, it's insurance, but it's a lot different. And I was selling return on premium policies to existing clients, and we didn't have any leads. It was more of a switching bait to existing customers and new products and various things. And I was doing that. When I lived in South Dakota, because that's where I grew up, and I was on the Nebraska team. Basically, long story short, I moved here. I was researching different opportunities, found FFL. I moved here back in, so 1.5 years ago, back in August of, would that be 2021? Found FFL. It was a major struggle at first. I sucked. I never set up appointments over the phone. I had never called leads before. Very, very humbling experience, but I fell on my face many, many times. But, I worked really, really hard, and I figured it out, plugged myself into an office, and I told myself, hey, I'm either going to make this work, or I'm going to be homeless, and I'm going to spend all my money on leads. Because I had moved to a new city. I had burned on my boats. I didn't really have a better option. So made it work. And here I am 1.5 years later.
Yeah, dude, you're putting up some insane numbers for the short amount of time you've been here. And how old are you?
22.
22, living in a baller apartment, Chicago, just
Wonder what-
slinging insurance. Um, so I think one thing, well, let's hit on this because, everybody's always struggling with this. I struggle with it sometimes too. It's, having the confidence to invest in leads, invest in yourself enough to buy some leads. And I would assume it seems like you're running a pretty big mix. You're doing some traveling, you're driving a couple hours to hit a couple pockets. You do some age stuff in the CRM, right?
I do. Love those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You walk us through kind of what it was like when you started lead flow wise and how it's changed.
Yeah. So basically, when I first started, I was pretty much like all of us. I didn't have any money for leads, so I was just doing whatever I needed to do to figure things out. So I was working instants, internet leads, age mortgage leads, just kind of whatever I could get my hands on, experimenting with different things and really figuring things out. And so like I said, I struggled for a long time, fell on my face a lot, and was never good on phones. The phones are still my biggest struggle, but the biggest thing that helped me in the beginning was just going to work and just grinding. And I plugged myself into an office because when I first started, I wasn't disciplined enough to dial from home. That was big for me. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of people in this office that are better than me, that have been in the business longer, that are more talented. But if I show up before them and I leave after them, then, I have no, then I'll make it work. And if I just outwork everyone, that was my philosophy, then this will work out. So I was the first agent into Ivan's office every morning, and I was always the last one to leave. And I was usually there by myself for the last 3, 4, maybe 5 hours. And then Ivan would leave me the key, or one of his staff would leave me the key. I would lock the door, slide into the mat, and I would go home for the night. And on top of that, I just hated the phones when I first started. So another thing is what I would do is I would dial all day until 9 o'clock, get as many appointments as I could. And then I would print out all the leads I couldn't get a hold of, or people that hung up on me. I would print them off, and between 9 and 10 o'clock, I would plug all of those leads into my Road Warrior, and I would map it out, and I'd have a game plan before I went to the next day. And I would never go out of my way to door knock, because that's what I consider that a waste of time. But what I would do is, if my appointments were an hour apart, I would have everybody lined up that I was going to door knock in between those appointments, and I would just go from house to house to house to house. So if I got no-showed, I wasn't sitting in the McDonald's parking lot for an hour, or I wouldn't go home. I was working, and I was very intentional with my time. I was very efficient with my time, and I was either dialing to book more appointments, I was door knocking, or I was in an appointment.
That's awesome. That's huge. And you made a comment about you just felt like you were just working, right? We have a girl on our team. Her name is Summer, and she's been crushing it. And she runs literally like 98% of the leads she gets are from the CRM. And I don't know how she does it. I mean, I've listened to her dial a couple of times, but we all have the same access to the same type of leads, essentially, right? And there are way too many examples of people crushing it with certain lead types and in certain areas, and whatever kind of excuse you want to, trick yourself into believing. But at the end of the day, you're just probably not giving it enough, right? We're selling ourselves short, and instead of pushing through, and say Jonah has a bad dial day, he's not like, oh, well, I'm still leaving at 4 o'clock because if I worked 9 to 5, I'd be clocking out at 4 p.m. It's like, I'm going to stay an extra couple hours because I got to get to my 15 appointments. And that's the deal breaker. That's all it is. You grind. You said that word too. And I've obviously, because you've helped over 1,000 families in a year and a half, and continue to lead the way from there. Let's talk about real quick. You have your agency you got going. You have about 10 writers. Is that mainly warm market, cold market? What do you got going on there?
This is about almost all warm markets, probably about 80% warm, 30% cold. But we're still in the baby phases, still growing. But I'm really focusing right now. We just got moved in the office this week, actually. This is my second day in here. So taking the foot off the production side and focusing on more and pouring into others and growing an agency that way.
how did you get your first few agents to start working with you? You said they're warm market. Like what was don't want to say the pitch, but I mean, I know how much insurance you sell, so I'm sure you're just like, hey dude, here's my commission statement from last week. And they're like, all right, sign me up. But was there a certain, specific situation?
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly pretty close to it. Because at the end of the day, it's like when you're in an appointment, it has to make sense. And you're never going to hire anyone that's in a better position coming into this. Like every single person you hire, you're providing them a better opportunity than what they currently have. It's like when you're in a house, what do we always say in the house? Find the why, figure out why you're there. It needs to make sense. Like, they can't tell you why they need the insurance then, and they don't want it, then why are you there? Like, we're order takers. We're figuring out how we could help and serve people. So just asking a lot of questions and figuring out, why are you unhappy with your current position? Oh, I don't make as much as I want to, or I want to control my schedule more, or this or that, or I need to make more money, or I want to work for myself. Just whatever that is, just make that work. And yeah, it's like what you said. Most of us don't have the opportunity to make as much money as we're able to. So at the end of the day, numbers talk, and real numbers talk. Like, you can say things all day, but until you like actually pull up a commission statement and like, hey, I mean, this is how much money I made in the last 2 days. This is my America commission statement this morning. I just got this deposit. I get paid every day. That's like, we all laugh about it and we say it, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes logical sense. Like, why would you, as long as you're willing to go to work and you're not afraid to invest in yourself, why would you not?
Yep. And I mean, I'm thankful every day for Ty for bringing me into this business. I remember when I started, I remember having family ask specifically, like, oh, how much does Ty make in a year? And I just was like, oh, he's probably making like, maybe 40, 50 grand a year. I had no idea. I just figured that's what I thought I was gonna be happy with, right? Like, I dropped out of college, tried to get into photography, loved it, had a little bit of success, but was making, 30, maybe 30 grand a year. And so I was gonna be content with that, but just how quickly we have the ability to put somebody in a better spot financially. I never really imagined that it'd get to this, but with, a little bit of hard work in the system and having some people that, believe in you and whatnot, the sky's the limit, and it's a good time. So I guess my ramble on that is just don't be afraid to share what we do. And let's get into some in-home tips, dude, because whatever the heck you're doing in the home works. Do you have any unique things you do? Like, do you lay down structure a little bit more than other people? I don't know. Any tips you can throw for in-home?
Yeah. I think structure is huge. I'm really big on structure because how you begin the appointment is how you're going to end the appointment. And I put it all on the table up front. I'm like, well, first things first, here's my state license, guys. So I'm not only licensed by the state of Illinois to be here and go over with you, but also by the Department of Insurance. And I'm legally obligated to show you guys that. One thing I'm not legally obligated to show you guys, but I will anyway, is here's my driver's license. So you guys can see I'm a real person. So you guys have my address, and so feel free to knock on my front door if you guys want to. And they always laugh. And then I just get right into it. And I'm like, as an underwriter, it's my job, just a few minutes asking some health questions, medical questions, blah, blah, blah. The same thing you guys all say. But another thing that I do is I let people know up front. I'm just like, hey guys, and I'm very, very intentional, and I'm very structured, but I'm also very real with people. But I don't try to be too serious either. So I'm just like, hey, John and Mary, don't worry, guys. I'm not going to run you guys through an hour-long pitch. And they're always like, oh, my God. And like, you can just feel their shoulders shut down. They're like, and they get more relaxed because you really need to get them relaxed. I'm like, guys, I'm not going to set up a bunch of weird, fancy charts and graphs on your kitchen table. Nothing like that. Don't worry. We're just going to have a conversation, and I'm going to figure out how I can best help and serve you guys today. So I want to respect your guys' time. I know you guys are busy. I'm not going to take a minute more of your guys' time than I need to, but I hope you guys would show me the same courtesy respecting my time, because we are very short-staffed at the office, and they got me helping a lot of families a day. So of course I'm here to help and serve you guys with this. and figure out some sort of protection for your lives and your home. But I will let you guys know up front, the only thing that I do not do is I need to think about it. And then I pause, and it gets a little silent. And then I'm like, I need to think about it, because it's very simple. It's insurance that pays out when you die or if you become sick. So we're not splitting molecules here, guys. It's very, very simple. And I always ask them, I'm like, well, does that sound fair? And they always say yes. I think I've gotten one no. I'm definitely going to need to think about it. And it saved me an hour of hassle, because that's always the worst, when you pour into someone and you pour your heart and your soul into an appointment, and you draw out the why, and you get the emotion, and you get the logic, and you lay everything on the table. And then they're like, well, Evan, you're really great. We love you. We're for sure gonna get the insurance, but we just need to think about it. Can we call you tomorrow? Can I call you tomorrow morning? And then they never call you. So that was one thing that I tweaked, just letting them know, hey, up front, like, hey guys, it's simple. I don't, it's either you want it or you don't, and not making a big deal about it. It's just like, it's insurance, and we're not buying a house here. You're not signing up for a loan. It's $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever it is. Like, we'll figure something out affordable, and you guys can always adjust it down the road as well. So I think, yeah, man, just having that structure, laying it out, letting them know, what you're going to do, and really taking the sales out of it, and just having a conversation with them, because that's what people want. Nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of. And people just want to have a real conversation. Like, just talk. Like, sometimes we forget, like, we run so many appointments, they're real people. Just talk to them. Like, you don't need to be super professional. You don't need to have it all together. You just be casual, just have a conversation and figure out how you can help their family. So that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think, what I take away from that is, number one is the confidence that you have. And I'm sure maybe it was like this for you, maybe it wasn't, but I remember when I started, I was like sweating, bro, like armpit stain. Like, it was terrible. I was nervous and fumbled over everything I tried saying, but you just get the reps in, and your confidence levels through the roof, and you're unstoppable when you're confident. And that's what I noticed, and kind of what you went through. And then also a big thing that I think everybody that has success here does well is they just connect to people. Like those little jokes that you make, that you smile and you get them laughing. You can be sitting with the grumpiest of all grumpy people in the world, and they want nothing to do with the appointment. Within 3 minutes, you have them smiling and liking you, and the door's open, and you're going to help them out.
100%. Yeah, it always helps when you make them laugh.
Yeah.
I try to do that on the phone too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the little things in there. Like, I'm always like, hey guys, so you know what to look for. I'm about 5'6", blonde guy. So when you see me walk to the house, keep the shotgun put away. I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys say that or not when you book appointments, but it's just little things like that, like little tweaks and adjustments. And if you can, and the biggest thing is just get them relaxed, because when everybody's tense, that's just like, it's not a fun appointment, and you're probably not going to close it. So you can, and if you guys are new, I was, when I first started, you're probably the same way, Evan. I was like, oh, I hope they don't know it's my first appointment. Like, I hope but if you just tell people, like, hey guys, I just started, I've been doing this about a week, but I'm passionate about what I do, and just let them know up front, and they'll be a lot more lenient. Don't be afraid to be honest with people. Just be honest and lay it out, because people can smell BS from a mile away.
Absolutely. Be confident. Yep. I love it. Let's real quick, we do this every once in a while. We got time, as long as Jonah has time, just for a quick question or two. You can either unmute yourself and ask away, or if you want to use the chat, that's fine too. But I knew I forgot something. I wanted to mention real quick, announcement wise too, for you guys getting the text and email blast about the lead giveaway. We're still doing it, the Monday morning, 7:45 team call. You just got to hop on the Zoom, be dialing. You get entered to win $500 worth of leads. And the weekend warrior the next week. Every single week, I'm literally giving away $500 worth of leads out of my own pocket. So like, anybody who's, whether they're going through contracting, their license, like we should all be on this. The team will team chat Monday morning. We hop on, we get all fired up, hit the phones. So yeah, see you guys there. Just wanted to remind everybody about that. But any questions, or nobody liked Jonah enough to ask him something? Just kidding. We literally have like I would confidently say top 5 producer in the entire company out of like 15,000 agents at our disposal. Took the time out of his day. Dude, your office looks sweet, by the way.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I'm looking forward to, I'm crashing that grand opening whenever it is.
100%. I'll for sure let you know. Yeah, I like the brick. It's got that, we're going for that modern but vintage vibe.
Okay, Catherine. I was actually going to ask that too, and I forgot to. Are you all in home or doing some virtual?
All in home.
Okay. I got you. Have you tried virtual at all?
I've closed one virtual. It was a FaceTime. It was in my car outside of her house.
That's funny. I just had one yesterday where it was like, I thought I was going to close it, and then I got to the bank information because, I'm going to have to give you that when I get to work at 5, and then never heard back from her, and I called her like 10 times and she wouldn't answer her phone. So, but
well, I was in a house.
Okay, Seth. Go ahead.
Today, so we'll see.
Yeah. Initial lead spend.
About $3,000 a week.
I love that, dude.
About $12,000 a month.
And I mean, I still sometimes am like, damn, but that's because you spend $3,000 a week on leads initially. You're going to help 10 families, and even with the chargeback and the advance and whatnot, you get paid 60% of the 10 families help. Like, you're profiting, like more than I'm sure most people have made anywhere else. So,
and another thing I want to come to that, because you look at your initial lead spend, well, you have, as long as you set it up right, you have that client for life. So annual review, you get the additional 25% advance, renewals, you set up really good roles from that. So I'd rather invest my money in leads up front and have a bigger book of business to run off of in the future. Because just work your leads. Because it's honestly more, I mean, you guys have all heard this, it's more risky to invest a lesser amount, trying to have a better ROI than more and having an overflow of leads. So that's always been my plot.
Yep. Ty loves it too. Jenna says, how many times do you follow up with someone before moving on to the next lead? It's a good question.
It just depends, man. I mean, I think it depends on your personal situation, how much you have to invest in leads, what's your disposal, because when I first started, every single lead, I was like, if I bought that lead, I'm either calling you 10 times, I'm texting you, I'm swinging by your house. Like, I didn't have money just to let that lead go. But now, I have an overflow of leads. So, I might call them, a few times, might leave them a message, shoot them a text. But I get so many leads at this point that, I'll probably call through dial day. I won't work my leads after about a week.
I remember when I was doing the Facebook final expense, I was always like, I'd go through my new leads, like say 2 rounds through triple dial. And then if I didn't hit the numbers I hit yet, I'd go through my old stuff and I'd always get an extra 1 or 2 appointments. And even now with mailers, it's like, I'll go through 1 month, 2 month old forms that people sent in at the end of my dial day, and we'll just send out text messages to them with the picture of their form. And I've literally booked 3-4 extra appointments from that sometimes. So
yeah, in the past couple of months, I've gone through leads from a year ago that I dialed on my spreadsheet, and I booked appointments from those. People that have hung up on me a year later, I call them back a year later, and I booked them, and I went over and sold them. Like, one guy was a $5,000 IUO lead, and he hung up on me the year prior, but I got him at the end of the day.
That's good. Just gotta be creative with it, I think. Somebody asked about door knocking internet leads. If the person to ask that isn't, let's see who asked that. Zach, you should hit up Summer if if you don't have her number, you reach out to me or Ty. We'll send it your way, because that girl like literally sells 4 or 5 policies a week from door knocking internet leads. But all right, one more. We'll wrap it up. I want to respect this dude's time. Jenna, do you feel like getting licensed in other states is helpful? I would say 100,000,000% yes to that. I'm sure Jonah would back me up on that. Jonah, how many licenses do you have, different states? I know you for sure go. Yeah, I know you go to a couple of.
How many states do I work, or am I licensing? Because you have to be licensed to receive overrides in some states. So
I guess just what state.
Yeah, so I work Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. So those are the 3 states I work.
Right, and I've always done like a 3-4 state radius too. So that's the way to do it. Okay, last one. Other than the phones, what is the second thing you struggled with the most when you started?
Having confidence. And every time I've struggled, where I mean, even now, I still struggle. I still have days where I don't sell anything. And you really gotta, because we're in the people business, and if you're having a tough time and you say, oh, like I just had a horrible dial day, these people suck, or it's just a hard day in the field, I've always looked at myself, and I recommend looking at yourself and being like, oh, do those leads suck? Did those people you sat, are they just not buyers and they're really not interested, or was there something going on with you? And it's every time it's always been me, and I've always been the issue. So you really got to dig deep in yourself and get your personal issues figured out, and just have that confidence and really believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe the product you're selling, or you don't have the ability, or you believe you don't have the ability to help and serve that family, they're going to feel that, and they're going to feel that energy. So you really, before anything, before you even get on the phone, before you do anything, you need to make sure that, your mental state is right, and you're in the right state of mind in order to help and serve these families. Because ultimately, if you're not confident, you're gonna struggle.
Yep. 100%. Awesome. Well, appreciate you hopping on, dude. I'll let you get back to it. Just one last reminder. The 11th, the business overview meetings, they're everywhere. We got one in Green Bay. They're all over the place. Let's get to those. Let's get some people there. Let's keep growing. Let's keep helping families. Jonah, appreciate you, dude. I'm sure we'll talk soon. Love working with you, dude. Keep crushing it. You're inspiring a lot of people.
I want to say one thing before we wrap this up, that just appreciate all you do, bro, and just being a beast and leading from the front. So when I first started, you were one person that I really looked up to in the business, and you've been doing this longer than I have. But I just want to let everybody on this call know, like, you guys have a great leader in Evan. I mean, he's like, he always answers his phone. He's always been there for me, any questions I've had. And you guys, I mean, I see a lot of uplines in this business, and you guys have one of the best in the company, in my opinion. So just keep going and let's keep growing, man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I won't let you smoke me too much this year in issue pay, but I'll keep it close.
For sure. I'll see you guys.